All right, guys, so the 2.7 live stream for Wuthering Waves just wrapped up, and honestly, I thought the biggest surprise would be something like Chuyuan finally becoming playable, or maybe Galbraina dropping out of nowhere, or even the Avengers storyline ramping up with that huge showdown they've been teasing. I mean, Frolova popped back in like nothing happened, and they even introduced a brand new Fraxitus member whose identity is still a complete mystery. Any of those could have been the headline moment. But no, the community is absolutely losing it right now for a completely different reason. It looks like GESHU-LIN might actually make an appearance in the 2.7 quest. Yeah, that GESHU-LIN. The general everyone's been waiting for, the one people have been begging to be playable. Before I dive into what this means, let me set the stage a little, because the context here is really important. Lootbar.gg is a site that gives you big discounts on your in-game purchases. Let's take Wuthering Waves as an example. You can actually see the price difference right away when you compare. The process is super simple. Pick the pack you want, click Top Up, choose your payment method, and that's it. Your rewards show up right on your account. And don't worry, your login info is completely cleared after the transaction, so it's safe. New users can get up to 21% off plus additional discount coupons from the link in the description. And yes, first-time top-up bonuses are available as well. So, during the live stream, they officially introduced Chuyuan. He's going to play a key role in helping Rover capture Scar and drag him back into prison. Chuyuan isn't just some random side character either. He's from Minging, which is the capital of Huanglong, and they described him as a security guard. But not just any security guard. The livestream described him like this. Chuyuan once served in Ming's internal security agency. Back then, he was their sword, only drawn when blood needed to be spilled. Now that he's left Ming behind, he's a wandering swordsman walking his own path. That's a pretty serious backstory already. And then, if you look closely at the footage they showed, there's this scene where Chuyuan is talking to someone, but the camera deliberately hides their identity. All we see is part of their arm. Naturally, fans started dissecting this immediately, and the overwhelming consensus online is that this mystery person is GESHU-LIN. Now, why are people so convinced? Well, it comes down to a few very specific details. First off, the color scheme matches perfectly. The arm in the shot shows gold accents and this grayish-blue, almost turquoise kind of mix. That exact combination is iconic to GESHU-LIN's design. You don't just throw in a color palette like that by accident. And then there's the lore connection. Remember, GESHU-LIN is a general from Huanglong. Chuyuan used to work in security for Huanglong. It makes complete sense for these two to have a conversation, maybe even a confrontation. Security and military leadership crossing paths? That's practically inevitable in a story like this. But here's where things get even juicier. The voice actor for GESHU-LIN basically hinted at this weeks ago. He didn't outright say anything, but he reposted the 2.7 livestream trailer on Instagram and added a little devil emoji. That's the kind of sly tease that usually means, yeah, something's cooking. And now, with this reveal, it all lines up. That wasn't just a random repost. That was foreshadowing. So let's piece this together. If GESHU-LIN is indeed in 2.7, this could mark the beginning of his return to the story. We've been waiting forever for news on him, and this might be the first step toward making him playable. The big question now is, what does this mean for version 3.0? A lot of people are speculating that 3.0's entire arc could revolve heavily around GESHU-LIN. Think about it. He's a missing general, a fan-favorite character, and someone who has enough lore weight to anchor a whole region reveal. Dropping him into 2.7 as a cameo or side role sets the stage perfectly for him to take center stage in 3.0. And there's more. In this upcoming after-story quest for 2.7, we're not going to be playing as Rover. Instead, we'll be playing from Chuyuan's perspective. That means we're essentially getting a flashback or side story tied to Chuyuan's past. They even confirmed in the stream that this quest will focus on untold stories never revealed before. Combine that with the mystery interaction between Chuyuan and GESHU-LIN, and you can see why people are hyped. We might not just get a tease, we might actually learn more about GESHU-LIN's disappearance, his motives, and maybe even his role in the next region. Of course, this raises another big question. Where is Chiza in all of this? How is she going to get introduced? Will she make her debut in 2.7 as well? Or are they holding her back for 3.0? At this point, it's pure speculation, but given how tightly Wuthering Waves likes to tie its characters to the main quest, I wouldn't be surprised if they're saving her for a bigger splash later. Now, let's talk a bit about the actual 2.7 update outside of the leaks and speculation. Honestly, while the content itself feels a little light, the quest looks really strong. The new characters are designed beautifully, and their kits seem fun. And then there's the new game mode they revealed. It's basically a Wuthering Waves take on Vampire Survivors. And I've got to say, it looks surprisingly fun. Sometimes side modes like this end up being throwaway content, but this one feels like it could actually be addictive. But make no mistake, the real headline here is GESHU-LIN. People have been waiting for him for so long, and if this really is his comeback, it could set the tone for the entire next arc. Imagine 3.0 revolving around a long-lost general making his return, with GESHU-LIN and other Huanglong characters caught in the middle of that political and military fallout. The possibilities are massive. So yeah, to recap, GESHU-LIN's introduction in 2.7 sets up an after-story quest that doesn't star Rover, but instead shows untold stories from his perspective. In that quest, he meets a mysterious character whose arm clearly matches GESHU-LIN's design. Combine that with the voice actor's teasing post, the lore connections, and the color scheme evidence, and it's almost undeniable. GESHU-LIN is finally back in the story. Will he be playable in 3.0? Honestly, it looks very likely. Is 2.7 the start of a much bigger arc? Absolutely. And while the update might feel light on raw content, the narrative implications here are huge. And that's pretty much the state of things right now. GESHU-LIN is coming back. 2.7's after-story quest is shaping up to be one of the most exciting ones yet, and the seeds for 3.0 are already being planted. If you're as hyped about this as I am, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future updates. I'll be covering every new detail as it drops. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I still can't believe I'm saying this, but GESHU-LIN is finally here. The wait might actually be over. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Save up to 25% on current banners at lootbar.gg. Links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.